Good afternoon from windy, very windy Sedona. Now what we have before us is a 2024 Harley Davidson Electra Glide Police. I just bought it, and it's a new bike. It had 6 miles on it upon delivery, and I picked it up Thursday. I had been looking for a backup bike or a second bike that was a tourer, and I was looking for a used one. And it didn't necessarily have to be a road glide. I love the road glides, and of course I have that CVO, but I kind of been toying with the idea of a Batwing. So they're available, but the ones we're finding that I didn't want anything older than about 4 years, maybe 5. They were, because the budget, you have to be prepared to spend over 20 grand, probably over 30 for some of them. But they had this one on the floor, and as you know, being a lifelong fleet mechanic that specializes in police and fire equipment, immediately I'm drawn to this bad girl sitting on the showroom floor. And I asked, because I had no idea if you could even, as a civilian, you could buy these. Well, you can. They do remove the red lights up front and basically disable, they still flash, but the red and blues, which, I wonder if they were included in the sale. We'll never know. Anyway, the clear lights they replace them with that, and they still flash, but they're just clear. So it does have the police tour pack. I took the printer stand out of it, so it's just basically a trunk now. I did have them put some Vance and Hines slip-ons. They're not the Eliminators. I can't recall the nomenclature, the name, but they have a very, very good sound on throttle. I didn't want this thing to be zombie baffle like the CVO. There are some municipalities around here that have very strict noise ordinances, and you want to be a good neighbor and a good steward. So you open the throttle, it talks, which is what I like. But really an interesting motorcycle. And there's plenty of YouTubes out there, but I'll just give you my experience on it. The CVO is a premium machine, and everything about it is very well tuned and hand built and finished and all that good stuff. You get onto a bike like this, and you're back to old school production Harleys that has kind of a noisy transmission. Not too bad, actually. Now that it's got about 120 miles on it, it's quietened down significantly. The 114 is moderately clattery, but it's an M8, and M8s are clattery engines. So so here's the deal: the price. I paid well under $20,000 for this bike. In fact, it was so affordable, as far as baggers go. This was a no questions asked. But there are some things about the police versions that you need to be aware of. One thing would be the mirrors. I'm not really a fan because they're not convex mirrors. So you're basically getting like a makeup mirror. There's no infotainment at all. So if you want anything through your helmet, you need to pair up the Sena or the Pack Talk with your phone and just roll that way. I've done it that way before. There is no siren on this one. It's fine by me. Obviously these are just blanks. There's no speakers here. But here's really something that surprised me, and now I am really a fan. And it's this big pan seat. They call this a tractor seat, and it's on its own spring. So the ride quality of this bike is really, really good. After I adjusted the preload on the shocks, holy smokes, very, very, very compliant ride. I did order from, is it Eureka manufacturer? Utopia Products makes a seat back specifically for the police seat for the Harley Davidson. I suggest you visit their websites, Utopia Products. A lot of cool stuff in there for these bikes. And there's a whole following that like the police bikes. A lot of them get retired at 2 or 3 years, And as I've had kind of expected, and I'd seen on the various interwebs and forums, it could be a crapshoot because of the thing, did a lot of idling. It's probably the engine's taking a hit. But obviously this is brand new and we'll very rarely see any idling. I did take the printer stand out of the box. So basically now it's just a trunk. We had a couple more screws. I had 2. I got a couple more screws because you have these little, the pedestal stand that the mount is on. That all has to come off. What's wired up? So this is really cool, these one-touch latches. That's pretty neat. This is not wired up. Those are, but they just stay on blue. I may just unplug them. The saddlebags are just standard issue Harley Davidson bagger saddlebags. There's nothing special about the engine. The engine is a factory 114. I'm not sure about the gear ratios. It seems to me that they are a little taller on the top end, like 4th, 5th, and 6th, and shorter 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I might be completely imagining things, but it just seems to me that compared to the CVO, there's probably absolutely no difference. Who knows? So if you are a road glide type with the fixed fairing and you've never had a movable, one of the things, you get standard heated grips too. That's freaking awesome. So, and cruise control. So if you've never had a movable fairing bike, that was a learning curve, and I'm still learning on it. I took it out. So this thing has 32 degrees lean angle both ways, and the handling is excellent, as you would expect from a touring chassis Harley Davidson. I'm just used to this big infotainment center, big fairing. You have no visibility down here on a road glide. It's all blocked off. And as you're doing your low-speed maneuvering, of course, your information center is staying stationary. Well, obviously, it's not the case with these. To each his own. I've gotten used to it now, and I kind of like it. Fuel economy. Well, it's breaking in. On the trip back from the dealership, it's getting about 34. I think it's rated at 43, which is about right for a 114 with this much weight. Let's see what else. After the 100-mile mark, I rolled onto the throttle a few times pretty aggressively. It is a 114 cubic inch engine on a modern Harley bagger, and that's the end of that. Will I do a stage 1? Probably not. I really like this air cleaner. I don't want to ditch it. I think it's pretty sweet. It says 114 Police. Will I do it? Well, they did. If I recall correctly, they should have tuned to the mufflers or to the pipes. But regardless, this is something that is just going to be if I have if I want a bat wing day, then that's what's going to happen, and if I want a road glide day, then the other one's going to happen. I just think it's really cool because I was able to get a brand new Harley Davidson for well under $20,000 in full kit. And I mean, it's got the wiring harness for the auxiliary battery, the siren, all that crap came with it. I'm just, this is kind of cool stuff when you are into, I have the police car out there that is my everyday driver, and that thing's a blast. And it's so much utility in those Explorer-based interceptors or tanks. Ride quality is, as I say, it's pretty phenomenal with that seat, and so with the seat back on it, that's really going to finish it off. When I added the seat back to the CVO, that was a game changer. Made that bike absolutely a joy to do long trips on, and I'm pretty sure it'll do the same for this one. I'll probably add some protectors to the crash bars. I don't know if they come in chrome. I'll have to check. But even if they don't, the black will accentuate. Let's see. The dealership owner was telling me that this one, and they had a road glide cop. They call it a cop glide or police glide. That was also done up, and I didn't like it. It didn't look right. It just didn't look right with the shark nose and the police tour pack. I like this more classical look, and the color combination was a little weird. It looked like an Oreo. So, this one kind of does too with the white tank, but it has very much that CHP look to it, which is pretty sweet. The bike's name is Mr. Chips because when I was growing up, my favorite show on TV, it exceeded Dukes of Hazzard, and that was Chips. My brother was a cop show guy. He became a cop. I was a cop show guy that became a cop mechanic, and I can't say I regret that decision one bit because it's been the most fun as a technician. If you really want to get into just the cool systems and the running gear as well as the accessories, cop cars and fire trucks, fun, at least for me. All right, well, that's about it. Sweet bike, sweet ride. I can't wait to get some more miles on it, get it past 500, and see what that thing will open up and do. Have a great weekend. Bye.